Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the John Bierchen Show. I am Kendall Grayson, play-by-play voice for Alabama hockey, joined every week by head coach John Bierchen. Coach, the team defeated Middle Tennessee State 11-0 last weekend here at the Pelham Civic Complex. Overall, what are your thoughts there on a big win for Alabama?
Well, it was good that we were able to get some of the younger, less experienced guys in, some of the freshmen, true freshmen, and they executed their roles really well. We've done a really good job of preparing them to last basically like 6 weeks, first 6 weeks of the season. So it was really good to see those guys get in the game and perform well and execute well and compete really well. So, other than that, the usual suspects that played well as, in addition to them. And then Sam Schilling did a really good job getting his first appearance in. So it was really good job. It was really nice to see those guys get in the game and do as well as they did.
Transitioning to this weekend when Alabama takes on John Carroll University Friday and Saturday night, you're back into playing Division I games in a back-to-back weekend. What do you think is the biggest key in putting together a solid weekend? Because so far Alabama has only won one game per weekend this season, and I know that they'd like to go 2-0 this weekend.
Well, it's certainly, the higher you get up and the more successful you are, it's all about consistency. This week in practice, we've worked on a lot of concept stuff. Some people might call it systems. We like to refer to it as concepts, so that way we can hopefully be a little bit more on the same page with the execution of those. We've done a really good job with executing individual skills, but the concepts and the systems have kind of broken down at certain points, and that's what's gotten us in trouble. And then also, I think we did a really good job in practice this week of competing from the second we stepped on the ice to the second we stepped off the ice. We've had issues with that, competing in the game for 60 minutes, and I think that's something that we really got to improve on this weekend in both games.
You mentioned practice. Let me go back to that and talk about the practices that we've seen this week. What do you have to do as a team and a coaching staff to keep things fresh, to keep everyone engaged, because the team is on the ice 3 times a week. They play an hour away from campus, so it's a big commitment for everyone, but it seems that every time this team steps on the ice for practice, they're engaged, they're willing to learn, and I think you can see that on the ice.
Yeah, well, even though we're on the ice for 3 days, we're on the ice for a total of 4 hours. So we've done a really good job, myself and Jerron and Kyle, of really keeping the practices fresh. So even though you're doing a 2-on-1 drill, like changing up the drill so it makes them have to think a little bit, it's not the repetitive same 2-on-1 drill that you did the last couple days. Doing a lot of battle drills or small area games in tight spaces and changing up the rules, changing up where the nets are located. So we've done a really good job with that. And then just basically kind of coming back every couple of weeks to the same concepts and systems that we want to execute. That way it's fresh in their minds.
Coach, going back to last weekend's big 11-0 win over Middle Tennessee State, it was the home opener here at the Pelham Civic Complex. We saw a good crowd come out and support the team, but I know that's something that's been important to you since you took the job here, that you want that fan support, you want to have those big crowds to come out and lead your team and help them in these home games. I think the crowd really does make an impact here. We've seen it before at the Pelham Civic Complex. So the next game is coming up on October the 21st against the Vanderbilt Commodores. But from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, and just overall, what type of impact does that make to have a big crowd here at the Pelham Civic Complex to play those home games in front of?
Well, of course, the University of Alabama fans are really passionate, and it was really good to see them get out and support the guys on opening night. And we look forward to having that same support and greater support on October 21st against Vanderbilt, and also Harambe night to raise funds for the Suncoast Primate Sanctuary. But whenever you can basically compete and represent your university in front of your own fans and family and alumni and fellow students and faculty and staff, I mean, like, it's always a good feeling, and the guys did a really good job of representing themselves, the program, and the university against Middle Tennessee State. Again, like, they're a program that's on the up, and we kind of beat them pretty bad on the ice, but I think they did a really good job of representing themselves and showing Middle Tennessee State and the rest of the fans and family and students and all that, like, what it's like to be an Alabama hockey player.
Thanks for joining us on this week's John Bierchen Show.